Greetings. This is Justin Allen, the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, a podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system. And frankly, screw that. Sick of it. And it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take the measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked with the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help a nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hey everyone, today we'll be talking to Lakeisha, who is an adult nurse practitioner. Currently, she is working full-time as a nephrology nurse practitioner. She is just getting ready to launch her own wellness practice where she offers weight loss and hormone replacement therapy. She's needing help with pricing services, patient acquisition, and improving patient outcomes. Hey Lakeisha, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for hopping on here. Tell us about yourself. I don't think I've ever talked to very many nephrology nurse practitioners, so I'm kind of interested in how you fell into that.
Yeah, we're a dime a dozen. So I have been in the field for quite a while, actually. I was a nurse on a renal unit for many years, charge nurse, and just had a good relationship with the nephrologist that I worked with. So once I completed my degree in, 2018, they had me sign on right away. So I have been working with them for quite a long time, probably 4 years now total. But I've also worked in gastroenterology, occupational medicine as well.
Okay, so you've done quite a few things. Yeah. You've been a nurse practitioner for how long?
Since 2018.
2018, okay. So about 7 years. All right, so tell us about this business you're wanting to start. I think you told me right before we started recording that your first day is today.
Yeah. So I launched my website last week. Couple things that I think we figured out after the fact. There was, back and forth, I think, about pricing, whether or not to put that on your website. I've listened to some of your podcasts. I've listened to, took some of your training, obviously. And I know there's kind of a, I guess a half split on that, whether or not it's a good idea or not. I think in my area, what I'm finding is I've already launched online probably about a week ago now. And I've had, probably between both, probably 30,000 people that have looked over, my information, but maybe 700 that's visited the site. And I've only probably booked maybe 3 or 4 people. So, my thought was, is it because I am not listing my pricing? And so that was a question that I have.
Well,
thing or not.
First, I wouldn't put too much stock in those numbers. Okay. You have no idea how many of those are bots. I mean, you don't even know. You have no clue how many of those people are actually real. No clue. Okay. It's pretty hard to ascertain really what those numbers mean. So I wouldn't put too much stock into it. Really what's the important thing is look at more or less the bounce rate and to see kind of how long people are staying on the site for. Usually a bot will stay on the site for second or whatever. It'll just come through and be gone. You know what I mean? It'll come to your website, grab whatever data it wants to grab, and then it's out. That's just the internet. So look at how long people are on your site for. People that are on your site for extended periods of time, that's probably an actual real person who's reading the material. Okay.
Nope.
typically for a practice, I don't really know what the averages are for those numbers, but, I would suspect if a patient is serious, they're going to be on your site for 5 to 10 minutes at least, kind of looking at what you're doing and that sort of thing, unless they're just ready to book, A lot of patients probably might never even go to your website. They'll just call you straight from your Google business listing. So, so I wouldn't pay too much attention about those numbers. Okay. So just don't worry too much about it. Okay. So how many patients are scheduled?
3.
3. And you launched the Google business listing and stuff when?
Last week.
Last week. And have you advertised it at all, or is it just there?
Honestly, I haven't done much advertising. I did a couple things on social media.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
3 people booking for not even advertising in a week, that's pretty good. So,
okay.
That's good. It's 3 people that booked, that's a good thing for 1 week. Think about it. If you could get 3 patients to book on a weekly basis, that's 12 patients a month, right? In 10 months, you have 120 patients. You're making, $15,000 a month. So that's not bad. That's a nice, slow progression that it'll snowball. You know what I mean? It'll go like this and it'll exponentially increase. So I wouldn't worry about that. 3 patients that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
In terms of the pricing on your site, I'm real torn between that. I still don't have pricing on my website. I don't. If someone's going to buy something directly from your site, obviously have a price, right? But with a clinic, question is, do you want them to call you so you can sell them on the service? Or is it best to just be transparent so you can minimize the tire kickers? They're going to waste your time, right?
Right.
You'll see that with any business. There's always going to be people who are just wasting your time, I couldn't tell you how many consults I do on a regular basis of people just wasting my time, So anyways, I would say that, are you going to be available to answer the phone call when patients call?
A lot of the times I can be. I do have a pretty flexible schedule. So, I go to hospitals, I do clinic, I go to see patients dialysis. So I'm pretty open to my clinic.
So basically, if someone calls you right during a patient visit, you won't be able to answer, but you can call them right back.
Right.
Right. Okay. There'll never be. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There won't be a period of more than really 30 minutes that goes by, probably.
No.
Yeah. That's kind of how it was with me, too. And I'd answer the phone call from my own practices when I was working at urgent care. There was, within 30 minutes, I'd call you back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say probably just avoid putting the pricing on your website unless all the competition in your area has the pricing.
So that's the piece I was going to talk to you about. So I have looked at quite a bit of the competition. Some of them do list it. Some of them don't. And some are listing only some of their services for pricing, more so the med spa piece of their service. I think a lot of the people that I'm in competition with are more med spa versus, just straight HRT. So there's that.
So if you think about weight loss as an example, there are so many places offering weight loss. There's just so many. It's a pretty saturated market at this point, unless you're in an area that doesn't really offer a whole lot of weight loss services. You're doing general wellness where you're doing HRT, weight loss. You're doing some various other things too. You're not just doing weight loss, right?
Yeah. Right. I'm doing thyroid optimization, gut health.
Okay.
So those are the main focuses.
Okay, good. Yeah. I pretty much advise people nowadays, don't start a weight loss clinic on its own. It's just not worth it. There's too much competition. So for weight loss, people have a lot of options. Therefore, the question here is, do you give them a job to call you to see how much you charge versus just being transparent on your site? If you charge cheaper than everybody else, then there's absolutely no harm in putting the pricing on your site.
That's true.
There's no harm in it. It'll only benefit you. Right.
Yeah. And that's probably what I have seen. It's more of a weight loss piece on people's sites. I have seen men like TRT, but they never list the women.
Yeah. I would say that if you're going to put pricing of one service on your site, probably put the pricing of the other services on your site too. I would just make it, okay. I'd make it congruent across the board. So if weight loss is going to be, a component of your practice, which it should be, it's easy money. With my men's health clinic, I don't have weight loss on my website.
Yeah.
I don't advertise it. I just give it to my patients. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my established patients, I just offer it to them. But like we don't really advertise it or anything. It's not really on our site. So if you're going to advertise the weight loss component on your site and actually put the pricing of the weight loss on your site, I would just go ahead and put the pricing too of the HRT and the other services as well. If you're underpricing your services compared to the competition, then there's no harm in putting the pricing on your site.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I would be. From what I can see so far, I would be underpricing.
So how much is the competition charging for HRT in your area about?
Yeah, good question. So I noticed one for TRT was like $159 a month. If I look fully in Illinois, there's places charging in upwards of $250 a month to $300 a month. It just really depends. If you're in the Chicago area versus where I am,
right?
You're going to get higher pricing. There's a lot of rural areas here too that I'm really close by. So I feel like doing something in the middle is a better plan for me starting out.
So what's the price of your HRT package on a monthly basis right now? Have you determined this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been sitting down and kind of putting some numbers together. And, what I figured out would be close to like $175 a month for women. Trying to package that into a 3-month deal and giving them maybe like a 20% discount. That's
good. What about your men?
I think men they're so much cheaper, right? So much easier. So I was thinking closer to, a $150 a month price starting. Of course, all of these I'm saying starting, and then adding things obviously to it. So, their follow-up labs would be included. A month, like a monthly visit would be included, for 15 minutes or something. That's kind of what I'm looking at. So, obviously supplement, 10% off supplements, things like that. And then obviously, more of like a percentage off of, weight loss, if they wanted to do weight loss.
Right.
So I'm kind of going around, weight loss is like losing it more naturally by being on hormone replacement therapy with the expectation that it could take up to a year. But also saying that if someone needs something a little bit faster for, events, whatever, that's available. So that's kind of how I'm doing it, more of a functional medicine, holistic approach.
Right. So we charge $140 a month at my men's health clinic for just testosterone replacement therapy and the visits, and included in that's, the supplies, B12, they need like a little anastrozole every once in a while, whatever. It's fine. I just give it to them. It's cheap as shit. It doesn't cost anything. Then we charge separately for like Clomid or HCG. At $140 a month, we're still profitable. If the other person in your area is charging $159 or whatever, if you're charging $150, that's still pretty reasonable. So I'd say stay at that price range. $150 is pretty good. Monthly visits. Guys don't want to be talking to you every month.
Yeah. You can do quarterly for that more so.
Yeah, every 3 to 6 months. Yeah. Preferably every 6 months. Most guys just don't need to be seen. It's easy. There's nothing to it,
Right.
The women HRT will be a little bit more complicated, but even when they're, once they're dialed in every 6 months, it's fine too. So I wouldn't make, I would just say visits included. I wouldn't include a schedule. Okay. Just put visits included.
Okay.
But, $175 a month for female HRT is pretty reasonable because the cost of that HRT is going to be a little bit more expensive because it's going to be a combination of testosterone and progesterone and estrogen or whatever you're going to do. So I think that's pretty reasonable. So I would say I would probably just list those prices on your site, be transparent with it. Because if you're going to list the weight loss and stuff, then cool. Put something that, it says discounts provided if you, add weight loss, or discount provided if you add HRT. I would just put some stuff like that on there. So yeah, I'll just be transparent with it. Just put the pricing on there. If you're not charging way more, but you're charging pretty market rate or a little below it, I'd say it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that'll reduce the amount of phone calls, and might increase the rate of people just booking directly from your site.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I think I've been going on and trying to promote it, and also I deal with a lot of these conditions myself. So that's kind of why I felt like I can kind of relate to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I've been, promoting myself more. So it's just that I get it. I understand. I also deal with that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you can relate to people, that's always a good thing, I mean, anytime we ever offer anything at my men's health clinic, I try it first.
Right.
I just do. I try it first, like me and my staff, we try it first to make sure that, who am I to say that you should try this if I haven't, you know what I mean? So,
right.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I've been on desiccated thyroid for like 13 years, So, hormone replacement therapy for the last 3 months now, but yeah.
Yeah, you can relate. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so any other questions about pricing?
No, I think that was the majority of it. I just wanted to see what, you felt about that. How do you feel about insurance with labs? I have a...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you mentioned you were going to include labs in those prices. I wouldn't. If you include labs, let's just say for men's health or even women's health at $150 and $175, that's really going to eat into your margin. Like a lot, to the point.
And I was thinking more like if I did a follow-up lab, not their first labs. So like their first labs wouldn't be included.
I mean, even still, that's still going to cost you $75 to $100. If you use Access, give or take, it depends on what you're ordering, but it's still going to cost you $75, give or take. At $75, if you're following up with people, let's just say 3 times a year, it's $225. Your profit just went from $1,200 to $900 to $1,000. That's a pretty big. That's a pretty significant hit.
Yeah,
I wouldn't include it. I would just say you can either use your insurance for labs, or this is the cost, and let them figure it out. You don't really make a whole lot of money with labs. You just don't. Okay.
Right.
Unless it's just a huge volume of people. Sure, you can make some money with labs. But for most clinics, the money's not in the labs. The money's in the medication, right? So,
right.
So I would just give them an offer. Like, whatever Access or whatever you're using, whatever they charge you, just add on, $50 to it or whatever. So you make a little bit of a profit from it, and just give them the option. This is what the price is. If you want to use your insurance, cool. Here's your lab slip. Go to whatever lab you want. I don't care where you go, let them deal with it. They deal with the insurance. They deal with it, but always warn the patient, if they don't cover it, you're going to be on the hook for paying whatever you're going to pay for those labs.
Right. So kind of give them a discount if they decide to go with cash labs.
If they go cash labs, exactly. The price of a comprehensive female or male panel, your cost, if you use the Elite NP Access Medical Discount Lab deal, if you, what's our cost? $115?
Yeah.
It's nothing. And if you charge the patient $150, $175, $200, it's still a pretty damn good deal. You know what I mean? So I would just say, just leave it at that. I would easily 50% of my patients at my men's health clinic just pay cash for their labs because it's cheap. Yeah. So I just give them the option. They want to use your insurance, let them use their insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. I always worry about that a little bit with insurance and mixing what we're doing. And, if they're going to be concerned with us not going by, total T being under 300 or, you know what I mean?
Nah, they don't care. Insurance doesn't care about labs. They still pay for it as long as you're using the right codes.
Okay.
They're not going to audit to verify stuff. It's based off the codes.
Okay.
And usually it's just symptomology codes. It's not actual real codes, just symptom codes.
Right.
Fatigue, erectile dysfunction, hot flashes, depression, anxiety, blah, 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 blah. Right?
Right. Okay.
The more codes you put on there, the higher the chances insurance will cover it. So if a patient comes into our clinic, I put as many codes as I possibly can on that lab order sheet.
Okay.
Yeah. Just put a bunch of codes on there. I mean, you're not lying.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So any other questions there?
No, not on that.
So let's talk about patient acquisition. So what kind of questions did you have there? I guess first tell me, what's your strategy going into this right now, or do you have a strategy?
Well, first off, I've never been a big person on social media. It's never been my thing. So I'm now just starting to learn about social media, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that sucks.
It does. And so I'm trying to learn, but also trying to put together this business. So it's kind of been on the back burner, but I've been doing here and there little things on social media. It's definitely increased a lot of people seeing things, but that's pretty much it. I did get a Google business listing because I'm kind of doing a hybrid model where I do have a, place that I can go and see patients if needed. So I'm using that model and using that as my Google business listing right now. And so I haven't done any advertising on that yet. And that would be one of the things I was going to talk to you about, would be how to optimize that.
Okay. Social media is a necessary evil, I didn't have social media pages. I didn't have a Facebook. I didn't have an Instagram. I didn't have any of that shit until I started my businesses because I had to,
Right.
Like I was basically a phantom, no one knew who I was other than people who would bother calling me, you know what I mean? And so I had to create a Facebook page and all this crap because I had to advertise my businesses. And so, even to this day, I still really don't use my social media all that much. I'll post a picture of my kid every once in a while, But anyways, though, it's a necessary evil. So, create the pages for your clinic, post on it fairly regularly. People will find you through it organically. They will. A lot of people use Facebook and stuff to search for businesses and services. So, why not? It doesn't take any of your time to post some stuff on there, It just doesn't have to be anything crazy. In terms of advertising, I wouldn't advertise on social media. It's a pain in the ass for clinics. A lot of times your ads don't get approved. It's very difficult to really dial in who you're targeting. It can get expensive really quick. So I would not advertise on social media for this. I think it'd be a waste of your time. You could experiment with it. Every area is different. Some areas, a Facebook ad can be absolute gold, and in some other areas, it's a complete waste of your time. So if you wanted to play around with it, you definitely could at least give it a try. Throw $500 at it over a period of 2 or 3 weeks and just kind of see if anyone bites. Just be very, very specific on who you target. Don't use, like, let's say you advertise on Meta, for example, Facebook and Instagram. I would not use the AI tools that they have, this AI generated targeting that they have. AI essentially finds who your customer is and they'll send the ads to those people. It is not very intuitive for a lot of different things. If you were selling a hair product or something stupid like that, some consumer good, it would work very well. But something like this is pretty niched. It'd be a waste of your time and money to do that. So if you're going to create a Facebook ad or a Meta ad, make sure you select who you want to see this ad. So you're going to need to create 2 ads, one for women, one for men, right? So you're going to have to create 2 different ads, one for men, one for women. You identify the age bracket of patients who, are probably going to bite here. So in general, this is probably, people between the ages of 30 and 55 usually, income bracket, top 20%, top 30%. You can select job titles as well. If you want to start targeting people who have a very specific job title, you can do that. You can target people with a certain education level. So you can.
I'm gonna have to look where you find that. When I looked to try to do just a quick ad on Meta, I could not find any of that good stuff. I was able to do hobbies like golfing.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything for money or income and even age. It would start at 18. It wouldn't let me go lower than higher. Like I could say 18 or up to only this much, but it would it had to start at 18. It was really weird. And I'm like, okay, when am I doing this now?
All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all Elite Nurse Practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and that other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode. You're probably not using the actual ads manager.
Okay.
You have to actually use the ads manager. You have to create a campaign, create an ad set, and then create an ad. You're probably just using the ad center. The ad center you can just use to create one single ad.
Got it. Okay.
It's not as advanced as the ads manager. Like I use the ads manager for when I'm advertising on Meta. Like I design a campaign, I design an ad set, I design an ad. That's basically the structure of it. You have a campaign, you have an ad set, and then you have the ads. Okay. The campaign is just the objective. So the objective is leads. You want leads. Like that's your lead. Okay. Leads. That's the objective. Ad set is where you target people. So essentially you would create one campaign for leads, right? People basically scheduling on your site for an appointment. That's basically what the objective is. And then you're going to create 2 ad sets, one for men, one for women. All right. And then underneath it will be the ads. 1 or 2 ads. One for HRT and the other for weight loss or whatever. You're going to need to be very, very careful on the wording of those ads because they're not going to approve them most of the time. So it has to be very broad in nature. Men's health services being provided in your town or whatever. Click here for a free 15-minute consultation or, something like that. Yeah. Just very broad. So that's what you would do for Meta. But like I said, I would throw $500 to $1,000 at it, see what happens. If nothing happens, shut it down. Don't waste your money. Okay. Even if you only get, 3 or 4 patients from it. Let's say you spend $500 a month and you're getting 3 bookings from it. That's not a bad return, honestly.
Yeah.
You're making your money back basically from the first visits, and now you're making money from them perpetually for 12 months, 2 years, who knows how long, right? So it's actually not that bad of a return. So don't expect fireworks.
Right. Okay.
Expect just a couple firecrackers, basically. It's not, don't expect magic.
Right.
Okay. So you could try that. Now, your Google business listing, obviously, that's your most important thing. These 3 people who booked from you right now, did they book from you through your Google business listing? Do you have any idea?
I do, actually. I know all of these people. So
Yeah. Okay.
they're just people that know me. Yeah. So it's not from anything in particular. They just know me clinically.
Gotcha. Okay. So your Google business listing, the way, how do you optimize that? You list your website on it, you make sure the name is congruent with what it is that you want to offer. It doesn't have to be the actual name of your practice. It can be like the first 2 or 3 words can be the name of your practice, -, your services. That way people know what it is that you offer. Your website on there, make sure your hours are accurate. You can list your services on there. But what's going to come down? It's going to come down to the reviews. Just what it comes down. I say that on almost every podcast. It's so important. So get reviews.
Yeah.
These first 3 people that you got, make sure they leave a review for you. Friends, family, make sure they leave reviews for you. Get as many reviews as you possibly can on that site. Okay.
I know the weird thing is I had my husband try to leave a review and it would not, I don't know, it's not there. It said it approved it, but it's not there.
Should have. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay to fudge. It's okay to fudge a few reviews at first, and once you got 10 or 12 or 15 of them, it should start actually being real reviews at that point. You just need something for the start of it. Yeah. So it's okay to have some friends or family put some reviews on there. If you've treated them for anything in the past, it's not like it's a lie.
Yeah. No, a lot of friends that I have that have worked with me clinically too, I've been like, hey, I know what I do.
Send me a review. Right.
Well,
It's still, that's not, it's a little white lie, but it's not it's not a complete fabrication, right?
No.
Okay, so I would do that, and then that's really it for the Google business listing. It's really not. Put some pictures on there. Make sure it just looks accurate. That's it.
Okay.
If you go to a business's website, and you're just like, you look at images, and it's like, say you want to go to a Chinese restaurant or something, and most Chinese restaurants don't have a website. They just don't. So you're like,
right.
What's on the fucking menu here? I don't know what's on the menu, right? Like, how do I know I want to order from here? So it's like there's always an image of the menu. Someone, I don't know if it's the Chinese restaurant that leaves it or a customer or whatever, but it's like when you look at those images and you see one from 8 years ago and that's the most recent image, what does that tell you?
Right.
It kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Like, is this place even real? Is it open? Is it, so just make sure it's just up-to-date images, post a new image on there every couple months. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And then just lots of reviews. So that's pretty much how you're going to do that. You could try some Google search ads if you wanted to. Without being legit script certified though, it's going to be difficult.
Okay.
You could try to launch some that are very broad.
Yeah, how hard is it to get legit script certified?
Not hard, just pay to play.
Okay.
Cost you a couple $1,000 and that's it.
Okay.
Not hard. If you go back, I don't know how many podcasts ago, can't be that many, maybe 5 or something. I talked to an NP who does that for NP practice owners. So if you can find that podcast, you can just holler at her. I think she dropped her email in the podcast, or maybe her website, or her email. You can email her. She charges, I think she charges $1,000, $2,000 to do it for you. So if you want to invest, $4,000 or $5,000 in the entire process, she'll do the whole thing for you, and then you're legit script certified. Then you can advertise whatever you want.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Now, this is the thing about this. Your business just opened. So do you want to go out? Do you want to come out of this guns blazing, or do you want to just give it a little time? Giving it a couple months isn't a bad idea.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I wanted to start putting stuff on social media to get people, used to me, start putting images, like you said, start putting, things to make my business look like a business starting off. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. Right.
So if you wanted to do something, you could, it's just getting the word out. It's getting just people to know that you exist. That's it. Because you just opened. Yeah. So your Google business listing is there. but is it coming up if people search men's health or weight loss, in your area? Is your listing actually coming up? I mean, it probably is, but it's probably going to be at the very, very bottom. I mean, you don't have any reviews, so it just
real low.
Yeah. So you want to get that up. The only way you get that up is with lots of reviews. It's really the only way you do it, and you give it some time. So for that to start generating some patients, it's probably going to take a little while. So you got to get the word out in the area. And, if I was to open a brand new practice today, and I'm not going to, but if I was, I would start with a billboard somewhere. If it was a local business, I would put a billboard up somewhere, 2 or 3 of them, if you can afford it, in your area, and put a billboard up for 3 months, just so that you just make it aware that you exist. That's it. That's the entire goal of it. You will get patients from it. So you could try that if you wanted to, or you could try to do some Google search ads if you wanted to, or you could try some social media ads if you wanted to. Avoid radio, avoid TV, avoid that crap. It's a waste of money. So yeah, you could try that stuff. Give it, maybe just be patient. Give it 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Is this a brick and mortar practice?
It's mainly telehealth, but I do have it more hybrid. So I have a place to go. I can go.
You do. All right.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. How much is the rent?
Currently.
It's what?
I'm currently not paying anything.
You're not paying?
I have a friend who's in the, lash business kind of thing. And so she is allowing me to use a room there if I want to. So I'm thinking about doing lab draws there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, why not? I mean, whatever, it's free. So this business.
And eventually we'll work together. We have an injector that's in there. We have a tattoo artist that's in there. She does a little bit of everything. She's got over 9,000 people that follow her. So it's we're gonna help each other eventually here. So.
Can she post your services on her pages and stuff?
She could, yeah. So I'm planning on talking to her a little bit about all that.
I would ask her, just be like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you post this, on your pages or whatever? Saying that, her current clients get 10% off, or, make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
See if she can, if you are going to be in a room in her place, I mean, you should be putting some flyers up in her office or whatever. I mean, people are coming in for lashes and they see weight loss or they see female HRT. Some of those people are going to bite. Yeah. I mean, that's low hanging fruit stuff. Take advantage of it. Right.
That's my plan. I also have a lot of people around me that I'm going to try to do more of like a health fair here after a little bit. Try to do maybe some just B12 injections to get people to come over to my stand and try to promote that way and just get the area people I know that are in the health and wellness.
You could try that. Area. I mean, I've heard 2 things about health fairs. It's either a complete and utter waste of your time, or you get some people, or you get some patients from it. I mean, there's very little in between. So yeah, okay. But yeah, just be patient. Do you have any? It sounds like your overhead for this business is practically nothing, so you can be patient.
Yes.
Right.
I have no overhead.
Yeah, you have no overhead. You are probably making pretty good money at your job.
Oh, very good money.
Right. Yeah. You make probably good money. $150,000, $200,000 a year probably. So there's no rush, right? You can be patient. So this could be something that can organically grow on its own without you having to spend much at all if you wanted to go that route. You know what I mean? You could just let it do its thing and it'll slowly grow. You'll get reviews. You'll get calls from Google, patients, people who come into the nail salon or whatever, the lash salon, you'll get some bookings there. It could be one of those things that just let it do its thing. Let it just kind of organically evolve. And once word of mouth starts and whatnot, 6 months from now, a year from now, you might actually have a pretty solid base of patients without having to spend $1 marketing it.
Yeah.
So it's really up to you on what you want.
Yeah.
If you want a lot of patients right now, you're going to have to spend some money.
Right.
Or if you want to take your time, take your time. Shit. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not in any hurry. That's
Okay.
for sure. I mean, I love what I do, full time. I do want to, at some point, maybe make this, a full time career.
Yeah.
But I'm not in a rush for that yet. Because I do love what I do.
Yeah.
So, but I do love helping people. And I do want to help people that are dealing with the same issues I'm dealing with and have gone through the same crap I've gone through over the years with regular medical providers that don't understand. So
Right.
there's that passion that's there to help people too.
Yeah. So yeah, this will be this will give you a path to be your own boss, So it might take a year or two for that to happen. That's okay. That's what it took for me. It took me about 3 years, Yeah. But there was no risk.
Right.
You maintain your job, there's no risk over here until the business, grows. There's no risk.
Right.
So fuck.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I'm just saving money basically right now. I'm just putting money aside so I have it for the business. So
There you go. There you go.
And $5,000, whatever,
Yeah, there you go. You got $10,000-$15,000 sitting on the side. I mean, yeah, you're in a good position, so you could be, you can be patient. Okay, then you wanted to talk a little bit about patient outcomes. What did you want to talk about with that?
I guess it was more just I'm trying to think of what I was thinking for patient outcomes. No. I think it was more just about using the insurance and how that piece would be regulated, or if I would, if I should step into that zone. I'm not thinking, I don't know about outcomes really. I think most patients are going to benefit from either of any of the services that I offer. So I think the outcomes are going to be great.
Yeah. I mean, with HRT is kind of a tricky thing sometimes. Some patients aren't going to benefit. They're just not. You'll just get some patients who are just like, I don't feel any different. I mean, what do you do with those people?
Right.
those are the most difficult patients because, let's just say for a man, for example, they come in with all these hypogonadal symptoms and their testosterone level is 350, for example. And I mean, this is a real patient I've had, testosterone is 350, hypogonadal symptoms. Start them on testosterone replacement therapy. I get their level to 1,000. Estrogen's dialed in. Everything looks fantastic from a blood work perspective. Like they look like picture perfect health. I don't feel any different. Dude, I don't know what to tell you. Everything looks fantastic. Like this isn't a laboratory thing. This might not be a physiological thing. Is it? There's something going on up here. You know what I mean? So just expect it. You're gonna have some patients who are just not gonna respond. And what do you do with those people? If you're approaching this from more of a functional medicine standpoint, you might be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how deep you want to go.
Yeah, I'm going to go only so deep because I know how deep that can go.
Yeah.
But I know that, I have done a couple things myself, like trying low dose naltrexone, for instance, and having, my Hashimoto's. I've noticed I've had to reduce even the amount that I take of the desiccated thyroid. So I have felt a little bit more energized and not as fatigued with that medication, which is really helpful. So I mean, I think definitely some add-on medications I can use to help with inflammation and pain for patients that may make them feel a little better, chronic fatigue syndrome, things like that, with that medication. So and of course there's peptides that help too, So we'll just have to see what each person kind of, presents with.
Yeah,
I think I have a pretty take form, so I think I'm capturing a lot of really good information from that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. Some patients I've had, they might not be responding to treatment very well, and then you start talking to them a little bit, and they might have a little depression or something going on, maybe. But they exercise, they eat right, they do all the things you're supposed to do, but yet they still feel a little depressed. 150 milligrams bupropion, boom, magic.
Right.
They feel amazing now. You know what I mean? Like sometimes just one little add-on. That's all it's needed, So, okay, let's see here. So in terms of insurance goes, if you accept insurance in your practice, you will see more patients and you will probably make some decent money, but you have to deal with the headaches. You don't have to
I'm
deal
not
with that.
doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of labs only.
Okay.
I definitely am sticking with just cash pay.
Okay. So if you are a cash-based clinic and you order labs and they use their insurance, or you send a prescription into a pharmacy and they want to use their insurance, you not being credentialed makes no difference. It doesn't matter. So you can order whatever you want. You can order diagnostic tests, labs, meds, whatever. And insurance typically will cover as long as you're using the right codes, even if you're not credentialed or not. They don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Good deal.
Any other questions?
No, I guess what was your biggest challenge when you started?
Yeah, I was going to say, I typically like to end these with you asking me a question, so we'll just use that. The biggest challenge, I've been asked this before, and my answer usually changes because it just depends on, I have time to reflect, right? Like, I kind of think back on stuff, and so that answer changes. I would say the biggest hurdle, I think I mentioned this before in a previous episode not too long ago, was just more or less getting out of my head. Just not falling into the trap of listening to my mind. Your mind likes to trick you into thinking things that's not necessarily true. You know what I mean? And so as I've gotten older, I've learned to observe my thoughts versus reacting to them. And so I think that one of my biggest hurdles was getting out of my head, not falling into paranoia and anxiety and stuff associated with a business, falling into, oh my God, am I going to get sued over this? Am I going to get sued over that? Am I doing the right thing? Am I going to get arrested for what I'm doing? Just stupid, ridiculous thoughts, right? And I would be a little bit more reactionary to it versus just observing it and more or less saying, okay, that's a bullshit thought, let it go, But I would say another one too would have been, I think I wouldn't have killed myself so much in terms of just working. I think one of the biggest hurdles was finding balance. Finding balance between work, between the businesses, between personal relationships, between things that I enjoy, hobbies, living life, basically, right? I had no balance there for a while. For 3 or 4 years, there was no balance in my life at all. It was work. That was pretty much it. And I lost a part of myself in those 3 or 4 years that I'm finding again now that I have time. You know what I mean? So it's almost like I had to rediscover myself on who I am now, the Justin before was obviously a lot more immature. I was kind of a punk, honestly. I was a punk. I was immature and whatnot, I was 35, 36 years old or whatever. I'm 41 now. So, I've grown up a little bit, and so, it's just finding that balance and finding out, I gave up a part of myself and now I have to find that again or rebuild myself into the man I want to be now, and so it was hard giving that up because once you give it up, it's gone. It's hard to get that back. You have to rediscover it or rebuild yourself. So my piece of advice for you is just make sure you have some balance here because you are working full time. You're going to have a business that's going to start getting busy. It might take a little while, but it will. And then your time and your energy is going to be split between that job and this business. Where does that leave the rest of your life? Where does that leave time for your relationships and the things that you enjoy? Where does it leave that? And if you're not careful, that period of time, that part of your life will shrink, maybe disappear to the point where it's just not there anymore. And now you become just a robotic workhorse who's just hustling their ass off in their businesses. And for what? You're probably not any happier. You know what I mean? Right. So that's just my piece of advice for you. Make sure you have some balance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm already trying to figure that out now. So.
Yeah.
You hit right on the head on all of what I'm dealing with.
It will get worse as you get busier. Like,
Yeah,
if you're
I
having,
believe you.
yeah, if you're having issues
Yep.
with that now, I would make sure that you set some boundaries. Essentially, you know what I mean. Set some
Yeah.
personal boundaries. I didn't have any. I had none.
Yeah.
I had no boundaries. I would work, answer phone calls, even on like a fucking Saturday or a Sunday, or if I was out and about with my girlfriend or whatever, I would still work. And my relationship suffered because of that. You know what I mean? I didn't have a boundary. I didn't set a boundary to my, I was just like, okay, this is my day off. I'm actually going to have a day off,
Right.
no work today, or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm done. That's it. It's family time now. You know what I mean? Set boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I kind of figured I'd find for sure.
yeah.
I kind of listed my hours after my working hours, because some days I get off pretty early with my job. Sometimes I get off at 3. Some days I'm off at 5, but sometimes I'll do a little after work hours too, to prep for patients, whatever. But otherwise, I have a pretty good schedule. I can't complain about that. But I did set my hours around like 5 to 8, Monday through Friday, and then like Saturday, Sunday, like 9 to 1, just so that I can kind of get patients in the door, but by appointment, so I could kind of decide if I wanted to see patients at whatever time,
Give yourself a couple days. You don't have to do all that 7 days.
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, you don't schedule patients. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be that flexible for patients. You really don't.
Okay.
Typically they'll work their schedule around yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So give yourself a few days that where you don't work. When you get off of work, you're off of work and you go home. You know what I mean? So give yourself a couple days there. But yeah, no, that's part of the hustle. You do gotta sacrifice if you want this to grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that first year could be a little bit tough, but just don't lose yourself.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, you're
You
welcome.
needed to hear that.
Any other questions?
No, I think that you answered everything I was going to ask you for questions of yourself anyway, too. So
Cool. All right. Well, if you ever want to do a follow-up, just let me know.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate you.
No problem.
Everything you did. You're the reason I'm doing this. So.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Take care.
All right. Yep. You too. Bye-bye.
I hope everyone enjoyed the episode with Lakeisha. She just got started, so it was a pretty interesting podcast. Like today was her first day. 3 patients scheduled, which isn't bad. It sounds like it was more or less people that she knew, but whatever. 3 patients is 3 patients. I think the big thing here is to remember that pricing your services, when you price your services, you need to make sure that you're competitive in nature. I get emails and questions all the time from people. What should I price my services? Guys, listen, it's not complicated. Look at what your competition's doing. Look at what people are doing around you and come to an average, essentially. Or if you want to underprice yourself a little bit to get some business, that's fine. That's what I did. But the big thing is you want to make sure you're at least making, at least 40, 50% profit on what you're doing. So if you're providing a product or a service, and let's say it costs you $100, you probably need to be charging at least $150, $200 for it. Okay. So if you look at most businesses, that's what you'll discover, especially in this space, with weight loss and HRT and stuff, that most of it's priced either 1.5 to 2x more than what it's costing them. And so the pricing for most of this stuff is generally going to be around the same nationwide for the most part, unless you're doing some ridiculous luxury pricing or something. So yeah, don't complicate pricing, guys. Just take a look at what your competition's doing and do it. And in terms of putting it on your website, if you are going to undercharge what everyone is basically charging, by all means, put it on your site. That's your sales point. If you are going to charge the average rate or a little bit higher, you might want the patient to call you so you can sell them on the product. Okay. But at the end of the day, I think that if you're undercharging, definitely put the prices of your services on your website. So, all right. Hope everyone enjoys this episode. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.